5:30. Thank you, everybody. I will now announce that we will be having our council meeting tonight for Monday, 25th of November, 2024. We also acknowledge, do an acknowledgement of country. I can't speak tonight. Devonport City Council acknowledges and pays respects to the Palawa Pakana people as the traditional and original owners of Lutruwita and continuing custodians of the land on which we gather. We also acknowledge and pay our respects to the Tasmanian Aboriginal elders past and present. In attendance, we have, we're advising that it is council policy to record council meetings in accordance with council's digital recording policy. The digital recording of this meeting will be made available to the public on council's website for a minimum period of 6 months. The meeting will also be live streamed on council's YouTube channel. I noticed that we have our wonderful councillors here, but we do have two apologies tonight. Councillor and Councillor Wilczynski and almost Councillor Murphy. I hope you're feeling okay, Councillor Murphy. Any declarations of interest, please, from the councillors? All quiet on the home front. Thank you. So we'll move on to item 3. And 3.1 being confirmation of minutes. The recommendation is there. If I can have a moment, please.
So moved.
Councillor Viney, thank you. And a seconder.
Second.
Councillor Murphy, thank you. Councillor Viney.
Merely procedural, thanks, Mayor.
Thank you. Councillor Murphy.
I concur with Councillor Viney.
Thank you. Any further comments or questions, councillors? No. Councillor Viney to close, please.
Consider it closed, Mayor.
Thank you. All those in favour?
Aye.
Against? Carried unanimously. Thank you. 3.2 is the public question time. 3.2.1 is responses to questions raised at prior meetings. The information is there and the recommendation is there. If I could have a mover, please.
So moved.
Councillor Viney, and a seconder, please.
Second.
Councillor Murphy. Councillor Viney.
Thank you, Mayor. The two questions on notice have been answered in the agenda and can be looked at there. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Murphy.
Merely procedural.
Thank you. Any further questions or comments from councillors? If not, I will ask Councillor Viney to close it.
And consider it closed, Mayor.
Thank you. All those in favour?
Aye.
Against? Carried unanimously. Thank you. So 3.2.2 is questions on notice from the public. The recommendation again is there. If I could have a mover, please. Councillor Murphy, and a seconder, please.
Second.
Councillor Martin, thank you. Councillor Murphy.
Merely procedural, Mayor.
Thank you. Councillor Martin.
Again, merely procedural. Thank you.
Thank you. Further questions from the councillors? Councillor Murphy to close, please.
Consider it closed.
Thank you. All those in favour?
Aye.
Against? Carried unanimously. Thank you. 3.2.3 is questions without notice from the public. So if there's anyone from the gallery that would like to come up, thank you. You just come up to the podium. Please state your name and address and ask your question.
My name is Janet Woolcott. I live at 86 David Street, East Devonport. Thank you. I have two questions tonight.
Thank you.
As the individual councillors have been notified through an email from Councillor Camilla Blanco of Port Hedland Council motion of the 11th of October 24 regarding the DNA contamination of the vaccines, along with possible knowledge of the West Tamar motion, Tuesday, the 19th of November 24, being upheld, thus allowing the council to inform their community and health practitioners of the DNA contamination in vaccines. This leads to my first question. With other councils across Australia now informing their communities through a meeting process, when is the Devonport Council intending to hold a special general meeting or other to inform the community and the city's health practitioners of these important findings linked and attached to the Port Hedland motion email, including DNA contamination in the vaccine, noting these findings have been supported and signed off by 50 medical practitioners from around the world.
Thank you. We can get back to your notice with that. Thank you.
Question 2. As the electors of a whole municipal area elects the mayor, deputy mayor and councillors, and as voting for council elections is compulsory for all electors, one would assume then that all successful candidates in the council elections would be public servants, wouldn't we? This leads to my last question. As ye, as individual councillors and staff, including mayor, deputy mayor, CEO, general manager, executive management, all managers and staff employees and casuals, including weekly, fortnightly, monthly, paid consultants of the Devonport Council, employed or contracted as public servants. A simple yes or no question. Though, if the answer is no, can the mayor and GM provide councillors and community members in the best interest of the community who the key individuals mentioned prior serve and work for? Thank you.
Thank you. Are you happy with us to inform you in writing?
Yes.
Thank you. Would you like to come up, Susan? Say your name and address.
Suzanne Nebraska, 105 Tarleton Street, East Devonport. I just have one question. It's regarding what I think it's 5.1 on the agenda about clarifying and solidifying how the public can interact with the council for meetings, as in like asking questions and questions on notice or questions like this, because I only read it, I think it was about 3 o'clock this morning. And my question is that when you actually make a decision, I know that you're aligning it with other councils, I get that, but when you're making a decision to change the way that the public can actually interact with the council, should there not be a public consultation period so that people who vote you in and etc. Actually have a voice to say? Because it seems to me that councils around Australia and various other parts of the world as well are basically pulling in the reins and making it a smaller opportunity for people to actually interact with the council.
Thank you. We'll get back to you in writing if you don't mind, Suzanne. Is that okay?
Yeah, no, that's fine. Okay.
We'll be discussing that at 5.1, of course.
Yes, yeah. But it looks like it's already ticked off.
Further questions from the gallery at all? Thank you. We'll move on to 3.4, notices of motions. There are none. Item 4 is for the Planning Authority matters. Oh, did I miss? Sorry. Where is that? Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to miss them either. 3.3.2, question on notice. Sorry, Councillor Murphy. So the first one there for the ferry pontoon relocation. Councillor Murphy.
Yeah, I think you missed 3.3.1.
I'll have a probably. Thank you. 3.3 is questions on notice from councillors. 3.3.1 is questions on notice timeline for action on resolution 24-101. Councillor Murphy. So I need a seconder as well. Thank you. So happy to move that, and Councillor Martin to second. Thank you. Councillor Murphy.
Look, this particular item will be discussed a little bit later in the agenda.
Thank you. Councillor Martin, you've gone that. Thank you. Any questions currently from the councillors? Thank you. Councillor Murphy to close.
Consider it closed.
Thank you. All those in favour?
Aye.
Right. Against? Carried unanimously. So again, 3.3.2, question on notice the ferry pontoon, councillor Murphy,
So moved.
and a second, please.
Second.
Councillor Martin, thank you. Councillor Murphy.
Thank you, Mayor. Just with respect to the response that was received, just a little bit more information around the communication with the Tassport's Harbour Master. Obviously, they have identified that potentially moving this to a more suitable location between Muscle Rock and the boat ramp may impact on key navigation markers in the location. If it's possible, a little bit more advice around that, because as a user of that river quite frequently, it's very difficult to understand, or is it possible that the information with respect to what was presented to the Harbour Master, with respect to the location as it was put to him, considering that what was initially proposed when I raised this in conjunction with Tarfish, that it realistically had no impact whatsoever on that navigational marker. In fact, it was a considerable distance anywhere from it. So a little bit more information with respect to that response would be appreciated, because I don't think understanding again the river, moving it further north, is probably going to provide the community with necessarily the best outcome, considering that the Spirit of Tasmania vessels, whether it's the old ones or the pending new ones, will be in a fairly open part of the river, versus a relatively closed part of the river protected by a breakwater, as they're leaving the port. So if it's possible to get some additional information around that, with a view potentially going back to the Harbour Master, because I think what's being proposed in the alternate location realistically isn't really going to meet the needs of the community, taking into consideration there was 32 people fishing on the boat pontoon on Friday evening. Busier than the street station.
Thank you. Mr. Scoot?
I've got nothing further to add.
Oh, sorry.
Thank you.
Through you, Mayor, we can certainly share with all councillors the information that went to Tassports and Harbour Master. I'm sure Harbour Master will be pleased to attend a workshop session and discuss that directly with councillors as well. But his feedback to date's been quite clear that any structures in close proximity to Muscle Rock are difficult for the Harbour Master to support in terms of navigation of the river. But happy to invite him, and he'd be happy to come along and discuss that further with councillors. So, good outcome.
Thank you. Any further questions from the rest of the councillors in relation to that? Yes, councillor.
Yeah, sorry, Mayor, more of a comment. I think around the table is in principle support the movement of that so it can be used. So any outcome that we could get that would push that forward is good. So I agree. Thank you.
Thank you. I'll ask any further questions from the councillors? No, I'll ask councillor Murphy.
Consider it closed there.
Thank you. All those in favour?
Aye.
Aye.
Against? Carried unanimously. Thank you. Sorry for missing that, councillor Murphy. So 3.4 is notice of motions which are none. Item 4 is the planning authority matters. Council intends to act as a planning authority under the Land Use Planning and Approvals Act 1993 for consideration of all reports under agenda section 4. So 4.1 is there for the 39B Don Road, Devonport. The information is all there. If I could have a move of the recommendation.
So, second.
Councillor Moore, and second was councillor Murphy. Thank you. Councillor Moore.
I'm happy to support this recommendation, seeking approval for a property on Don Road for use and development for a large showroom and warehouse. I note the representation, which was mainly concerned with the signage and that it might obscure visibility from the adjoining properties building. I note that this particular concern is not under the planning scheme, but the planners still did give us a photograph to show that it actually would not be obscured. I also note that it doesn't quite have the amount of car parks under the acceptable, but that 28 car parks, I actually went and had a look there today. I can't imagine that they'll be filling more than those 28 car parks anyhow. I'd like to approve the recommendation.
Thank you. Councillor Murphy.
Yes, I agree with Councillor Moore. I think there's more than ample parking considering that the proponent actually owns another site there. So there would be ample additional overflow parking if required. I too noted the representation. Agree. And agree. Yes, whilst there might be some concerns, they were only minor at best. It's just another highlight of the confidence that business has in Devonport moving forward. Nutco has been a pillar of Devonport for a long period of time, and they've seen significant investment in Devonport over a period, and this has the potential to modernise their current facility based in Bow Street. So look forward to seeing this one completed.
Thank you. Further questions from the councillors? Councillor Shen.
Congratulations. It's a good move for Nutco. I took a bit of a drive-by today in both directions just to satisfy myself in relation to the signage. Quite happy to support the recommendation from the planners up. But the retail signage is really important. So, in my opinion, it didn't seem to be obscuring future of the existing signage, but within their rights, of course, to express their concerns.
Thank you. Further comments? If not, I will ask Councillor Moore to approve.
Consider it closed, Mayor.
Thank you. All those in favour?
Aye.
Against? Carried unanimously. Item 5 is reports. 5.1 is public question time policy, which is to be updated. The recommendation is there. If I could have a mover, please.
So moved.
Councillor Murphy, and a seconder?
Second.
Councillor Holster, thank you. Councillor Murphy.
Thank you, Mayor. Obviously, this is bringing us in line with other councils throughout the state. It seems to be the general trend. Although, as it's been raised this evening, it is with interest that we haven't considered any public consultation on this particular policy, considering there's an update. However, I'm happy with the changes with respect to it's, not being the first one to defend people's right to ask questions of council, whether we like it or whether we don't. But it just provides us a little bit more structure and the opportunity for those questions to be more pertinent.
You're right. Okay, thank you. Councillor Hollister.
Yes, I'm supporting this. I have concerns with a lot of our questions, a lot of the legal requirements that we wind up with questions in the question time. I'd hate to think about what it actually costs legally, let alone staff time to, pay for all those questions. Sometimes instead of just 2 or 3 questions, we have up to 15, which is far too many. So I'm supporting that with the changes.
Sorry, thank you. Any comments or questions from the councillors? Councillor Bond?
Thank you, Mayor. Just to clarify a point, if a member of the public has more than 3 questions on notice, so it went to 5 or 6 or 7, isn't it just the first 3 that will be answered within the given time? So there's nothing preventing a member of the public from still asking 15 questions, but the first 3 will be in line with this policy, which is to have those answered in that by the next meeting. Can we just get a clarification on that? Thank you.
Certainly.
Through you, Mayor, that's absolutely correct. So the first 3 would be taken as part of the agenda, and the remaining questions would still be answered just under Council's Customer Service Charter.
Sure. Yeah. Thank you, James. I think that's an important note, is that there's nothing stopping anyone asking as many questions as they like. It's just keeping it the response from council in line with other councils, and I think that's fair. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Martin, did you have a question? Sorry.
A comment. Thank you.
Sorry.
I'm supporting the policy update. I'm certainly am wanting the public to ask questions and keep council accountable. But there is a small time frame during the meeting. Questions can be asked, and we want to make sure that as many people as possible can ask questions on the night. And it's not held up by people asking 10 or more questions, etc. And as Councillor Viney correctly pointed out, that's the first 3 questions that we dealt with on the night, and that follows through the council officers in line with the customer policy. Allows those questions to be answered, but also allows the staff a little bit more time to do some research and to make sure those questions are answered in the appropriate way, which normally wouldn't be able to be done on a council night if so many questions were being asked, so it would most likely be deferred. So the questions that can be asked on a council meeting night would be more of a quality of question that could be put to council with the follow-ups to be answered later on. So I fully supporting this, and it allows the meeting to flow quite well. Thank you.
Thank you. Further questions and comments? No, I'll ask Councillor Murphy to comment, please.
Consider it closed.
Yeah.
Thank you. All those in favour?
Aye.
Against? Carried unanimously. Thank you. 5.2 is the CBD road safety. The recommendation is here if I can have a motion, please.
So moved.
Councillor Murphy and a seconder, please. Second. Councillor Mort, was it? Yep. Sorry. Thank you. Councillor Murphy.
Thank you, Mayor. This was brought about from members of the community identifying some safety concerns with a couple of our zebra crossings on Formby Road. Subsequently, council engaged a consultant to do an overview of the road safety network for the CBD. Subsequently, this was workshop extensively. And, I think the general consensus around the table from that workshop is that we're happy with what has been proposed. With a lot more activity in the space through Haynes Park and within our CBD, it only makes sense that, as it states here, it shouldn't be, someone making a mistake and someone losing their life. So, happy to take feedback from my fellow councillors, but look, I think it just demonstrates that Devonport again is becoming a highly activated and very busy CBD.
Thank you. Councillor Mort.
I appreciated this report. I appreciated that we went for the holistic view rather than just changing one street. I was initially concerned with the speed reduction to 40 kilometres an hour. I thought that might be a bit slow, but what I did appreciate in the report was actually the figures that show how fast the speed of the cars are going anyhow, and they range from in the 30s to 45. So it will actually be only a minor change to most people that are travelling around the city. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Further comments from the councillors? Councillor Martin.
Thank you, Mayor. Yes, I think the key improvements in this stage to make implementation over 5 years gives us enough time to steady as she goes and implement that so the public gets used to it, and then be able to help that flow of traffic in that area. Thank you.
Thank you. Further comments? If not, I will ask Councillor Murphy to close, please.
Consider it closed, Mayor.
Thank you. All those in favour?
Aye.
Against? Carried unanimously. 5.3, the Maidstone Park Advisory Group, adoption of terms of reference. The recommendation is there if I could have a mover, please.
So moved.
Second.
Councillor Murphy and Councillor Martin. Thank you. Councillor Murphy.
Well, just an actual progression from what was the resolution council at last night's meeting.
Thank you. Councillor Martin.
Thank you. I've been on Maidstone Park Advisory Committee twice now for a long period of time. And just to sort of talk about the history of why this is a big move for the users and members of that advisory group. The history of Maidstone Park goes back to 1945 with the Progress Association, who had to build the Sprayton and Coiver Memorial Hall and a sports oval for the Sprayton Football and Cricket clubs. Donations from for the project can be dated back to 1942, which is 82 years ago. Maidstone Park Development Committee was formed in July 1968. Noting the president of the day was Bruce Jeffrey, the secretary was Jeff Squibb, former mayor, and the treasurer, 1968, was Ted Van Overmere. And Ted has served on that advisory committee for 56 years. And I certainly take my hat off to his passion and his involvement in the advisory committee, and as well as the like members, including former mayors Jeff Squibb and Annette Rockcliffe, trustees, and the support of representatives. Thank you.
Thank you. Well said, Joe. Any further comment from the councillors? I will therefore ask Councillor Murphy to close, please. Thank you. All those in favour?
Aye.
Against? Carried unanimously. Item 6 is information. 6.1 is the midterm plan update. Mover, please.
So moved.
Councillor Moore. Councillor Viney.
Yeah.
Thank you. Councillor Moore.
Happy to support the recommendation that the midterm plan is received and noted. I think our breakfast where we celebrated this and got to tell the public was a real success, and the plan, it looks really nice, and glad to have been part of the council for half a term now.
Yeah, thank you. Councillor Viney.
Thank you, Matt. Similar sentiments to Councillor Moore there. I did enjoy the breakfast. I thought it was a really good way of celebrating how far we've progressed in our term plan. Looking down through the scoring there, I can see that this is in the attachments. Most of our goals are more than halfway. There is one that stands out to me, not to be the negative Nancy, but we haven't started it. So I was wondering if I could get a little bit of an update or more of a explanation for goal 1.3 about the increasing in our energy efficiency. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, through you, there's probably not a lot we can say there. We just it's one that's planned for this year. Potentially, for councillors interested, we get a workshop up in progress. So, it's one we recognise we need further work to progress in the next 2 years.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Further comments? Councillor Shane?
Thank you, Mayor. It was interesting that this came up at LGAT. There was quite a bit of interest expressed by the councils regarding the term plan and whether or not it was a good thing, and hopefully it spreads around the state a bit more. Yeah, but thanks to the council staff for presenting the information so beautifully, and got some great feedback at breakfast.
Thank you. Further comments?
Question there.
Councillor Murphy?
Just with respect to the relevance to council's plan and policies 5.3, first page of the agenda item, council looks to employ best practice governance, risk and financial management. If possible, the declaration that was given 2 years ago with respect to governance, which we all signed on to, there's a clarification on the wording that was used, whether it was looks to employ or whether it commits to. There is a significant difference between looks to employ and commits to good governance. If possible, please.
We'll get back to you on that. Thank you.
I just think it's relevant, that's all.
Thank you. Further comments? Questions? I'm certainly very proud of the we've done, like our deputy mayor saying, it's now something that's been sprouted to the other councils, and some have adopted a similar style, starting to anyway, and they're realising that it's a really good thing to keep on track. It's certainly a good exercise for us as a newly elected group to get together and sit there and go, what do you want to achieve for the next 4 years? You've put your hand up, you've got this amazing opportunity, and what can we do with that? And I think that's certainly helped us. It's helped the staff, it's helped us. It's not just about our 10-year plan and our strategies going forward, it's certainly making us achieve something and having something to show for the 4 years that we're here. And I think it's a wonderful plan, and we thank our general manager for suggesting it because it's certainly been helpful to everyone. And there we were, being very proud and showing off where we were at with it already and what was achieved in just the 2 years. So I certainly think it's been a great exercise. So I thank everybody for being part of it. And I will ask Councillor Moore to close, please.
Consider it closed.
Thank you. All those in favour?
Aye.
Against? Carried unanimously. Thank you. 6.2 is just on our workshops and briefing sessions. The recommendation is there. If I could have a mover, please.
So moved.
Councillor Vining, and a seconder, please.
Second.
Councillor Marshall, was it? Sorry. Thank you, Councillor Vining.
Thank you, Mayor. It was an excellent workshop you missed on the 11th of November. We discussed some really important things that are coming up in the city, including potential CBD developments and hopefully a pretty exciting event that may occur at the Devonport Country Club in the future. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Mark.
Nothing further, thanks.
Thank you. Any further comments? No, if not.
Hello.
Sorry. Oh, Councillor Murphy, sorry.
Thank you. Just with respect to the discussion we had around the GAP general meeting notices of motion, specifically with the DAPS, development assessment panels. I note with interest that that meeting was held last week, and it was found in the affirmative that the Local Government Association of Tasmania did not support the government's current view or willingness to drive or implement development assessment panels because it really does remove the local government.
Thank you. Further comments? If not, Councillor Viney to close.
Consider it closed, Mayor.
Thank you. All those in favour?
Aye.
Against? Carried unanimously. 6.3 is the Mayor's monthly report. The recommendation is there. If I can move it, please. Councillor Sheen and the seconder. Councillor Knoll. Councillor Sheen.
Thank you, Mayor. Just wanted an update regarding a couple of items. The tourism roundtable led by the Premier and also the meeting with the CEO of Place Trade. The tourism update at LGAT was interesting, but was there anything in addition to what Tourism Chaz presented at the Premier?
So this tourism one in particular was the one to do with TT9. And so we certainly were there to hear what decisions were being made. Some of the things that were itemised were going forward that there will be a voucher system going out to the locals, as well as some event funding, some funding towards packages for travel with aircraft, as well as packages around as well. I'm sorry, I haven't got all the details here at the moment, but yes. So that were the type of things that were being announced.
Okay, that's great. Thank you. And just the CEO of Tasmania.
He was sitting down and having a talk to us about possibilities of what they can do going forward. They're trying to grow. They'd love to look at what is available or what isn't available or what they can do, which is really great. It's the first time that we've met with that particular gentleman, and it was lovely to meet him because I met him at the awards the previous week. So I invited him to come along and speak to Matthew and I. And just to get an idea, because he was talking, when he spoke to the crowd on the night, the audience on the night, he was talking about how TAFE wants to change, wants to evolve, wants to do things better. And we're really pleased to hear that. Thank you. Councillor?
Thank you, Mayor. I just was wondering what the sentiment from the Northwest Support School Community Reference Group was. I'm assuming that was in terms of moving and selection of areas.
Yes. So the two areas that were mooted at the end of everything was either down at Don College or at the netball courts at the Sprayton Primary School. Even though it was very close, and Councillor Martin was in on that meeting as well, even though the representations that came in, there was a lot, that's 300 odd, something like that. It was very 50-50. However, therefore, the DPAC people have made a decision on that they find that the Sprayton School netball courts next to the Sprayton School are probably more appropriate, given different reasons. And I suppose at the end of the day, they're just keeping everybody au fait with it and making sure that the stakeholders, especially the parents, have got all the information in front of them, all the updates, everything that they need to know. There will be a delay on the netball courts being available because that's privy to getting the sports precinct and moving netball from one place to another. So there is a bit of a delay. Probably the biggest con about that side of things, but there are a lot of pros. Thank you. Any further comments or questions, Councillor Murphy?
Thank you, Mayor. Will councillors be receiving any advice or information with respect to yourself and the Deputy Mayor and GM, CEO, attending the Strategic Alliance workshop? And moving forward, what will be the process? Are there minutes and agendas to these particular meetings that will be circulated to councillors, or is it just something that we will find out on in due course when we need to know?
I'll get Matthew to actually fill you in because he's been formulating all that.
Through you, Mayor. So, a representative from RDA Tasmania came along and helped facilitate that first workshop discussion. And I understand she's putting together some notes, which we haven't received yet, but once we get those, we'll certainly distribute them to the rest of the council.
Thank you. Further comments or questions?
Question. Does RDA representative come from Great Bass Authority? They on that board? No.
No. Further comments or questions? Oh, Councillor Martin, sorry. If your light's on, I can't say it from here, sorry. Oh, now I can. Thank you.
Just further to the comment on West Sports School, the Don College area was deemed unsuitable because of the bushfire zoning coverage overlay. That's what that sort of, whilst it might have been ideal, and you also had residents that were had concerns about it and the traffic. That was the bushfire overlay that pushed Maidstone Park into the front rank. Next.
Thank you. Any further comments? If not, I will ask Councillor Sheen to close.
Consider it closed.
Thank you. All those in favour?
Aye.
Against? Carried unanimously. 6.4 is the General Manager's report. If I could have a mover, please, of the recommendation.
So moved.
Councillor Murphy.
Second.
And second, Councillor Sheen. Councillor Murphy.
All there for people to see there.
Thank you. Councillor Sheen.
Yep, sorry, I just had a question again. Devonport Strikers Footy Club, and the meeting you had regarding the site redevelopment. Just get a few words on that.
Yeah, through you, Mayor. We've had the chance just to meet with the president of the Strikers Football Club, Drew Smith, and he just talked about the second part of their current building project. So you might be aware that the ground level was sort of stage one, and the upstairs part of the grandstand was sort of stage two, and they've been working with their builder and refining the design and now into that. So just talking through that, and any in particular cash flow with the federal government grant that we are passing on to fund that. So.
Is there a second part? No? No, that's right. All good. Any further questions from the councillors or comments? No? If not, I'll ask Councillor Murphy to close.
I consider it closed.
Thank you. All those in favour?
Aye.
Against? Carried unanimously. 6.5 is the monthly operational report. Always good reading to find out what everyone's been up to. If I could have a mover. So moved. Councillor Viney, and a seconder, please. Councillor Hollister, thank you. Councillor Viney.
Thank you, Mayor. I do like going through the monthly report because there's always something to be happy about or interested in. I normally find a couple of things that tickle me a little bit. So this month, what did I find? Firstly, upcoming events are exciting. And there was one there that seemed new. I hadn't heard of before. There's a gingerbread house hunt from the 2nd to the 23rd December, which starts next week by my reckoning. So I'd love to know a little bit more about that.
Oh, Ms. Hampton, take it away.
Yes, through you. I mean, it is a new initiative this year. We try and mix up what we do for the Christmas festivities to include our retailers. So we put a call out to the community to make gingerbread houses of any shape or form or by whatever method. And if you're in my office today, you would see 20 odd gingerbread houses have been delivered by the community.
Incredible.
And we have a number of retailers. Each gingerbread house will go into a retail business who have put their hand up to be involved, and we will put out entry forms and people go and find the gingerbread houses and vote for their favourite and that sort of thing. Once they've found all of them, they submit their entry form. So we're very excited by the response. It's been overwhelming.
And amazing prizes too.
Yes.
Yeah. Can I ask if there was prizes? So straight after that, or during that time, again pretty close, is the Devonport Christmas Parade scheduled for the 7th of December. Happy to help out, put on a high-vis vest and hold off some traffic this year again.
Right, so noted.
Just want to double check the route. Is it changed from last year? Can we have a little bit of information on that one? Thanks.
Yes, it has changed in consultation with TASPO and SES, who help us with the marshalling. I'll send the new route out to councillors.
And this is going back last month, but I forgot to mention it that in the Devonport Regional Gallery during September and October, we actually had a exhibition that was all high school and college groups. It was excellent, called This Is Us. There was a few from Reese High that I know really, I think they're quite proud of their work that was on display. I know that they had an opportunity to come down and walk through the gallery as well. So hopefully members of the community got to see that too. I know my boys really enjoyed that. There's something about art that's sort of more approachable to toddlers when they can see that it's not so, I guess, high end, if that's a nice way of saying amateur. But there's some really neat pieces, and yeah, I know the kids at Reese High that were involved in that really enjoyed the opportunity. So hopefully that's something we can continue with. And this question is for Mr. Dobson, because I couldn't find anything about it, but our city markers must be awfully close to being installed. I'd love to know a little bit more if there's a date or a range.
Through you, most of the roadside barrier installation has been completed at the Don interchange. That was a requirement before installation could happen at that site. There's currently power supply works scheduled and sharing with councillors an installation program. It's likely that there'll be some work continuing through the Christmas period. It's possible that the markers will be installed before they're powered up as well. So we'll share some further information with councillors about them. Most of the sculptures have been delivered to our depot site ready for installation.
Yeah, it's just getting to that sort of time of the year where if it's not before Christmas, it's going to be after Christmas. So we're saying after Christmas, optimistically around Christmas. Thank you.
Thank you. Excellent. Councillor Huddleston.
The types of incidents reported in October, does this sort of change much from month to month? Like was the economic climate making these incidents worse, or are they just steady? That's a good word.
Swanson, through you, Mayor. They certainly change month to month. And I really haven't got an opinion on whether the economic climate is making a difference or not. And Jeff Griffiths, if he was here, might have an opinion on the graffiti and vandalism, if that's what you're implying. Is that?
General.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. I've got nothing else.
Nothing further.
And
Any more comments or questions, Councillor Murphy?
Just with respect to the new version of the
parking meter revenue information, compared to sort of giving an individual breakdown of the car parks as per recent times. Just note with interest that we are sort of, with respect to our car parks, a little bit behind our budgeted versus our revenue, but in all the other areas we're forward. But there doesn't seem to be as much. Well, the information's there. It's just in a different format. I like the old format. I can read the old format better.
Through you, Mayor, I'll take that on notice, but I thought they were all the same reports, so all the same graphs. So happy to take that once you're not quite so Jeremy, we might have a follow-up conversation. Councillor Murphy.
Another room.
Yeah.
Quite seems.
Thank you. Any further comments, Councillor Shane?
Sorry, thanks. Mayor.
You're right.
I attended the 50-year ratepayers event with yourself and fellow councillors, and I just wanted to commend you on your thank you to Mr. Jamie, who's here tonight.
He certainly is.
Who I believe came up with the idea. It was a lovely acknowledgement, and having the opportunity to talk to some of the 50-year ratepayers was a privilege. So, yeah, we can't do a lot without rates at council. And it was really nice to sort of thank them for their contribution over a 50-year period.
Thank you. I totally agree. To be in the room with those wonderful people that have been part of our community for so long. Mr. Douglas was there in his 1900s. That was pretty amazing as well. And it's just a lovely event. So thank you. I appreciate your comments on it. Councillor Martin. Sorry.
Thank you, Mayor. I'd just like to encourage you all to visit the Devonport Regional Gallery with the upcoming titles. The Devonport Tasmanian Art Award, 6th to the 8th of December. Usually it's a very good exhibition and good activity. Secondly, I'd like to note that the stats on the 2024 Meeting Convention Centre booking are tracking well. In fact, it's 27% above average so far this year over 10 months. So it adds weight to the decisions made all those years ago that we celebrated shortly. That there's the right decision, 27% above average so far this year with 2 months to go. This is part of the year. So well done. Thank you.
Thank you. Any further comments? I also will just give a big shout out to the Devonport Senior Citizens Club for their 60th anniversary. It was such a lovely event. It's noted about them there, and for 60 years, that's pretty incredible. And it's lovely to look at the names up on the boards and to see who's been part of it over those years and to celebrate it there. And it's a great little venue, and it's used by certain clubs there, and they certainly appreciate it. So it was nice. I will therefore ask Councillor Viney to close.
Thank you, Mayor. Thanks also to Sam Hampton, for sending through the map of where the Christmas parade is going through. I'd forgotten to mention, completely slipped my mind, the Christmas carols that night as well.
Yes, yes.
So this is Saturday, December the 7th, which is Saturday week away. It's going to be, hopefully we get some beautiful summer evening like we have been having. That'll be absolutely crack of a night. We've had our Christmas decorations up for 3 weeks already. We're certainly very festive in the Viney House with a 3-year-old and a 6-year-old. The countdown to Santa arriving is well and truly underway. So this will be a nice way of breaking it up. This is only, 10 days away? No. I haven't crunched the numbers. It's a lot closer than Christmas. All right, consider it close. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Viney. All those in favour?
Aye.
Against? Carried unanimously.
Back up
Thank
the night,
you.
is that a Christmas pun?
So I'm assuming, Councillor Viney, you'll be going to both then?
100%.
Thank you.
Locked in.
Item 7, in the closed session, if I could have a mover of the recommendation, please.
So moved.
Councillor Murphy and a seconder. Councillor Martin, thank you. Councillor Murphy.
Really procedural, Mayor.
Thank you. Councillor Martin.
That'd be great. Thank you.
Any further from the other councillors? If not, I would ask Councillor Murphy to close.
Consider it closed.
Thank you. All those in favour?
Aye.
Aye.
Against? Carried unanimously. I therefore declare that we are now closed at 6:19 p.m. Thank you, Claire. Thank you for those in the gallery. Lovely to have you here, and see you again another time, I hope.